Hi, just trying to think, where's the camera on this thing? I'm just sitting in the car. I've just got back from Newcastle. Um, First of all, I just want to say that whoever is my Facebook friend or my school friend, well, we've met in person. You're all very, very dear to me, and I hope that nothing that I say. I know I put some crazy posts out there sometimes, and I manage to offend a lot of people. I'm not here to offend people. I'm not here asking for sympathy. I'm here just to show that, hey, this is the real problem. This virus will come. People are always going to die. We're all got a guaranteed ticket to death at some point. And it's all about how we live our life. Okay, and yes, we lived for the good of all, but let's think about, there's going to be some serious issues that we need to deal with. Okay, so the earth, and the lack of fish in the sea, all this air pollution, all this waste, all this overpopulation, which is what I'm sure most of this issue is really coming from. What is our strategy to deal with it? And I just think that people's right to protest, without that right, what is the point? What is the point? What is the Without our rights to be individuals, without our rights to actually say what we're really thinking, I chose to go on a beach today and do some freaking yoga and enjoy myself. Okay? I was totally, totally selfish, and I'm not going to begrudge myself of that right. I chose to do that, and I'm choosing to do this post right now from my car, right? But this woman, this mother, hopped on a train, probably sat there with her child and, probably had to worry about all these little germs and nasty things that she got to Macquarie Street or Macquarie Place, whatever that place is, did a little sign. She might have had to go to the newsagent to buy some cardboard. Like, let's give the woman a bit of a break. You know what I mean? Like, she's gone there with the right intention, and it doesn't even look like it was an organised thing. It looks like it was just a random thing that they decided to do, rather than enjoy themselves or sit there watching in front of TV or what have you. And I bet you she had, I'm totally guessing, because one of the things that I wanted to share on this post is that, where is this freaking thing? Is that, when you go out, or today I was having a coffee with a potential flatmate, right? And we discussed this very thing, and the topic was literally about how every single situation, you don't know how you're going to deal with the future. You just simply don't in that moment. So I had a situation when one of my first jobs, I was a pharmacy assistant on Oxford Street, and it was wild. It was a part methadone clinic. We had a lot of interesting people walking in, and there was some inner city urban villains. And one day these gang of youths thought they'd take over, started talking in pig Latin, which I of course understood every word, and were basically trying to distract me to get to the back room so they could take all our drugs. I had always planned in my mind that one day a junkie's going to try and walk in, and they're going to try and probably have a needle or something or a knife and get to the drugs. And I had this pre-planned thing that, I'm never going to, I don't care. I'm getting paid, $19 an hour or whatever it was. I'm not going to risk my life. But you know what? For some reason on that moment, I freaking grew some balls, which it was just a facade, right? It was a mask. I just made a split decision that in that moment, I was going to look that person in the eye. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I spoke in pig Latin to him and said, I know exactly what you're doing, right? And I'm going to call the cops, so you better get out of here. And then I did call the cops. I started dialing the number while the guy was looking at me. He couldn't believe it. I never knew that I was going to do that in that moment. I had a plan. So back to this woman might have had a plan to go with her cardboard, and, she might have wanted to say, oh, look at me, post a few pictures of Facebook and get people to talking with her kid. I really don't think that she would have had a plan to traumatize her kid. And, another scenario is after I've sort of made a conscious thing after that, I had a gang and I actually got told off by the pharmacy owners of not, next time never trying to put myself in the way of harm. One day I'm walking home from work and I was wearing these flashy high heels, and I had this flashy little golf ball bag, which wasn't on my shoulder. Usually I had my bag tucked under my shoulder, and I was dangling around my golf ball bag, and I had $400. I remember I had $400 in my golf ball bag. I never carry money. High heels, and I was wearing this tight skirt fitted past the knee so I could barely move my legs as I was walking. And as I was walking through Princess Street in Canterbury, I saw this weird guy jump out of a car, and he was making out like he was going to this Greek woman's house. Well, of course, I knew who the Greek woman was, and I knew that she didn't have a young son. He didn't look like her son or like a relative. And then he changed direction and came at me for my bag. Well, all of a sudden, I forgot about the pharmacy assistant. I forgot about all my pre-plans that, if ever a guy that needs money or a girl that needs money, I'm going to say, here, take my money. Please, can you just leave me my ID? This is what I always had a pre-plan in my head. No, all of a sudden, I was Wonder Woman, and this guy had to punch me in the face quite a few times for me to let go of my bag. Okay, that's not something that I planned. And again, I got told off by the police afterwards, that next time a situation like that, just let go, because that could, but the point is that we never know. Even now, I'm saying to you now, in the future, if someone wants to come at me, wants to rob me, whatever, I don't give a fuck about money or anything like that. I'm just going to say, here, take what I want. You know what? When the shit hits the fan, and someone's trying to get at something, I don't know how I'm going to react. I know how I probably should have reacted after, but in that moment, I don't know how I'm going to react. So can we just get, and I hope I'm not offending everybody, because I don't want to get on the bad side. I've rubbed so many people up the wrong way in the last year, on topics that, yes, I care about, but at the end of the day, I care about people, and I want people to keep to listen to me, even though sometimes I might not say something that's making sense, or I might be talking shit, but it's important to listen to sometimes the shit that someone else is saying. I listen to people's talking shit. They think I don't. There's a lot of people that have, you know what I mean? They might slightly offend me at the time or whatever, but, deep down, it's like, yeah, okay, maybe maybe I did stuff up or whatever, but none of us are perfect. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here in my car being a hero, doing a video to support another woman, but I was not the woman that protested. I'm protesting like a keyboard warrior. I know I'm being a total wanker. I should be that woman down there, but I was at the freaking beach. We all sort of got to give in our own little way, I guess, but I guess without, unfortunately, the way society works, without the majority of society supporting a common goal, because I really believe that we can have social distancing. I believe we could have an economy that recovers. We can have this virus be defeated. We can have a new system that is more fairer to the planet, sustainability, out of all this, if we can just band together and actually go, you know what, it is important to hear the other side of the story. It is important. It's because I'll tell you what, this one thing that's guaranteed is that we are all in the words of my mother, she says this every single day of our life, you know. And this is why I don't need a tattoo of a skeleton, because I've got my mum's voice in my head, and she says all the time, Lily, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. And that's so important, guys. We are all going to die. So let's stop fearing death. Let's stop fearing this virus. Let's respect the virus or whatever, you know, and I understand to respect the law, but let's make sure that we still live in a country where the laws are okay. You know, when the laws start getting changed and we no longer have any control and we're not allowed to talk about it because social media will wipe it off, what way do we have of voicing this? What way do we have of actually making a difference in the world? It's so important. It's so important. You know, that kid, he's gonna, like me, like when I was a kid and I saw my mum, you know, getting bashed, you know, that was an awful moment, and I'm never going to forget. Now, if I want to sit there and reflect how that's made me, you know, that was just a traumatic experience. I can't actually see the link between how it's shaped me as an individual. No, actually, yeah, no, actually, you know what? I could probably say, you know what? I've never been in a situation where I found that to be tolerable, to an extent. Not perfectly. But anyway, that's another issue. I just think, look, it's so important for us to be able to talk to each other and talk about things and discuss things so that we as a society can evolve and come to a new agreement about how we want to do things. You know, we can't just simply let the powers that be up here sweep all the laws from under us and that we can't even discuss and talk. No. We actually owe it to our future generation to make sure they have a voice that can shape a better earth.